Hi, I'm Elaine, the Heart Healthy Cooking Lady. I'm going to show you how to make a savory curried chickpea and vegetable stew. This is almost the same as the chicken stew, with the exception that I'm putting in chickpeas instead of chicken. And since all of the stuff in this dish are vegetables, well then, it's vegan. So let's get started with this. You are going to have the same as what you did before: a cup of chopped onions, the spice mixture of a teaspoon of ground cumin and half a teaspoon each of ground coriander and ground cinnamon and ground turmeric. You're also going to need a quarter teaspoon of salt and a quarter teaspoon of cayenne pepper. Use more if you want it hotter. You're also going to need a tablespoon of freshly grated ginger. You will also need to have a cup of thinly sliced carrots, 2 cups of cauliflower, florets, and 1½ cups of diced potatoes. And later we'll put in a ½ cup of no salt added tomato sauce and ½ cup of green peas. So let's get going with this. So I've had this heating for a bit. So we're not going to put the chicken in because this doesn't have chicken. Let's put the onions in and give those a stir. This is a non-stick pan. You don't really need to have any oil with this, which helps cut down on the fat and the calorie content. I'll turn the heat up just a tad. Okay, see they're starting to look kind of wet. I'm going to stir these around, cook them for maybe a minute or so. Just rolling. Yeah. All right. So those are nicely sweated. I'm now going to put in the spice mixture, just like I did with the other stew. Stir that around and cook them up a bit. It's good to cook your spices. Helps release the flavor. I am always just so pleased with the way that the Indian spices smell. This is delicious. You're also going to add now the chickpeas. This is 1 cup of well-rinsed chickpeas. If you're using canned, make sure you rinse them well because they will be loaded with sodium if you don't. Okay. That looks good. Now, let's just put everything else in. And the cauliflower. And now the potatoes. Stir it around. I imagine many of you have cooked with turmeric, but if you haven't, you might want to make sure you put your cooking spoon on a saucer or some sort of rest, because the turmeric can discolor your countertop. Okay, let's put in some water. I'm putting in ½ cup to start. You might use up to a full cup or more. Well, a little bit more than ½ cup, but that's fine. It'll cook down. Now we're going to cover this loosely. Turn the heat down. And cover it up. We're going to come back in about 7 or 8 minutes and see how thick it is, or how well done the vegetables are. See you in a few. Okay, I'm going to check this now. Well, the water's cooked down quite a bit. Smells wonderful. Cooking also involves a lot of fixing mistakes. I hadn't put in the 1 tablespoon of grated ginger, and I realized that, so I just kind of threw it in, and it's going to be fine, even though I didn't put it in when I was sauteing the onions and the other spices. It will be fine. I can smell it now and it's great. Okay, this is perfectly wet enough that I can cover it back up. I don't have to worry about adding more water at this point. And checking again in about another 8 minutes or so. This is going to cook approximately for 25 to 30 minutes total. So I will see you in a few. Let's check this. Ooh, looking good. Yes, indeed. But first I'm going to check and see how well done the vegetables are. Things cooked faster than I expected with the chicken stew because the pieces were really kind of small. Well, and this is just about done. I'm going to add a little bit more water. So I probably put in a total of just under a cup. Okay. The turmeric is what gives the food this lovely kind of yellow color. And it has a nice taste too. Okay. I'm going to cover that back up. Come back in about 3 minutes. Okay. It has now cooked for a total of about 19 minutes. And this looks great. And the vegetables are done. It needs just a wee hair more water. So when I add the tomato sauce, it doesn't get too thick. I'm adding a 1/2 cup of no salt added tomato sauce. I'm going to stir that around. And the peas, 1/2 cup of frozen peas, green peas. This makes 2 servings. As you can see, they're very generous servings. But it's almost all vegetables, so it's good for you. Okay. All right, let's dish this up. I'll show you about what half of it looks like. Oh. There we go. That's about half of this. This is a lovely dish. It is so very tasty, and it goes very well with mixed Indian pickle. I'm going to get some from the fridge to show you what that looks like. We got this at our local Indian store. This is such a lovely dish to have, and it is relatively low in calories. There are 351 calories in this big bowl of stew, 5 grams of fat, 425 milligrams of sodium. Please remember to rinse well the chickpeas, the 1 cup of chickpeas, and use a salt-free tomato sauce. I know we put salt in, but we can control how much goes in, and there's less than if you had used the salted tomato sauce and you hadn't rinsed the chickpeas. And there's 9 grams of protein, 51 grams of carb, and 15 grams of fiber. This is a very nice fibrous dish, but very tasty. So if you like this video, please like this video on my YouTube channel. That means you click the thumbs up, and my YouTube channel is Healthy Cooking Elaine. Please subscribe to it. Until later, here's to healthy cooking.